I'm going to start with a game called Kingdoms and Towns.
Kingdoms and Castles, isn't it?
I can't. Kingdoms.
Sorry,
It's got the most generic name on the planet, and I can't remember it.
He had to look it up 10 minutes ago and then told me off because I kept shouting crossbows and catapults at him. And it seems to have worked. Anyway, so yes. So Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks is a town building game.
Town building game, okay.
You start off by placing your castle.
Yep.
It's basically a very, very low polygon castle building game, town building game, where you need to balance all your resources. You put down your castle, then you build roads out from the castle, as you would expect, and then you put down this square is going to be a field, this square is going to be a hovel, this square is going to be a quarry, this square is going to be a lumberyard.
I'm not sure people plan for hovels. I think that's just what happens if you haven't got enough proper housing or something.
Yeah, but then you end up demolishing them and putting down manor houses, which are effectively high-rise blocks.
It sounds very familiar, to be honest. I mean, well, generic name aside, it sounds like the gameplay itself is certainly
the gameplay
something.
is incredibly. It's on early access. I will say that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So I
not too late to turn it into something original and fun then.
It works. It works. It's fun. It's all there.
Yeah.
It's just not very deep. But I'll come back to that.
Okay.
So basically, you end up. It's the usual gameplay loop of increasing your resources, keeping all of the amenities up and going, so that more people will be attracted to your city, so that you can make more resources, make more amenities, and you're basically just chasing the population number as the stat.
Yeah. I mean, functionally, it sounds a lot like the SimCity games.
Yes,
but with a sort of medieval slant to it
all. Do you remember Banished?
Also, I'm thinking Anno, whatever.
Yeah, I know. Banished
Certainly
is the
one.
closest.
Okay.
Which was a game a couple of years ago. Which was
I remember
quite
you
nice.
talking about that and how grim it all was.
Yeah, very grim, because that had the problem where it was so easy to get that balance off. You're on a knife edge all the time, and you got it wrong, your population would crash.
Yeah.
Like the one playthrough I think I talked about on the show, if I can remember that far back, was the time where my village ended up as two women who hated each other, it seemed, living on other sides of the ruins of the town.
Yeah.
And obviously no way of coming back from that situation.
Gone at that point.
There was no amount of diplomacy which would solve that situation.
No. Start again, I think, raise it to the ground.
But this is a lot simpler. It's a lot easier to keep things going and going up. You have to do the usual things like if you're carting resources too far, then that's a waste of time and people, so you won't need to put stockpiles in. Like if you've got your lumber area way on the other side of the map.
There's a sort of settlers transport optimization.
So you just put it, okay, you just have a resource placed next to it, a stockpile, so that they only have to go 2 seconds walk instead of 30 seconds walk, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then you get disasters.
Okay, yeah.
Which try and knock you down. The most common of which, and the far too common of which, is lightning.
Lightning.
You get more lightning in this game than you get anywhere else on anywhere.
Okay. And this
Alien planets going through the atmosphere have less lightning.
Wow. So no lightning rods, or can you do anything about it?
You can put the fires out.
Medieval fire brigade type thing.
Your people will put the fires out by finding water, so they'll take it from the river or the ocean or from wells, and they will just put your buildings out. Okay. So the odd building on fire is not a problem. It's when you get multiple buildings on fires, because there's three things you have to worry about. One.
Yep.
Vikings.
Oh no.
Always be careful of Vikings. Do not trust a Viking. They turn up in their boats.
Yep.
Then they come storming across your land, and then they burn stuff and take away some of your people.
That's really unreasonable.
It is. Then sometimes they have ogres as well.
Ogres?
Which are like Vikings, but big and will knock your walls down.
Oh, God.
And then there's also the dragon.
So I'm really getting that SimCity 2000 vibe. Is that, you've got tsunamis and alien spaceships and, and sort of fires and so on.
Well, these are more regular things that happen. You've got this dragon who will just come and fly over and burn stuff.
Right.
So you need to build up your defences, which needs money, which needs taxing, which needs having spare population to be able to do support the troops. And again, it stays at a quite balanced level.
Okay.
And it never seems to get too tricky. The trickiest I had was I was playing it. The first time I played it, actually. Then I paused it and went off to have some dinner. And while I was doing so, I noticed on TV the very first surviving episode of The Avengers, where Steed was in it.
Right.
Which, incidentally, is not his first episode, but the first surviving one, which is episode 16 in the first season, because all the others got deleted because the BBC can't be trusted with tapes.
So they went 16 episodes without Steed in
No,
it?
he was in the others.
Oh, okay.
No, he was in all of the others apart from the other surviving episode from season 1, which he just wasn't in it,
Right.
which is one about a circus.
Okay.
But yeah, so that distracted me for an hour.
Sorry, I forgot what
Much
we
like
were
this little anecdote was distracting
yes,
me. And,
right.
and when I got back, I discovered that the pause menu stops everything except the dragon that was on screen at the time.
Eh?
And the dragon had completely burnt my town down over that hour.
So pause everything except the disaster. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming that's a bug.
Well, early access, of course, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I imagine it has its own unique charm and style.
Oh, it's very charming. It looks lovely. It looks gorgeous. The clouds alone are worth the price of admission. Okay. They're sort of square clouds. People say voxely, but not voxely.
Yeah.
But when you zoom into them, they shrink down to nothing. When you zoom out of them, they grow back out again. And they grow in and out as the clouds go across the sky. It looks really pretty and nice. Okay. And it's really pretty and nice. But the game is early access. It's very, very professional. And okay, there's some bugs like using the mouse wheel on the menus will still zoom in and out, that kind of thing.
Okay.
But it's just a little bit thin on the ground. And there's only so many hours worth of entertainment in it at the moment, I think.
I mean, you can get a comparable experience with any number of existing games. That's the thing. So I'm wondering sort of what it brings new to the whole table.
It's the aesthetic.
It's just the style of it all, I suppose.
And these games are always fun, and I will gladly lose a couple of evenings to them. Yeah. And I've lost a lot of hours to this game already, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
But it's not the most original game you'll ever encounter.
Yeah, but
at the moment, it may well become so. They may make it better. They may make it so that there's more repercussions for your actions. That there are more building types as they add them in. What they've done is they've made the minimum viable game.
Yes.
And released it.
Well, that's always a thing
to do.
It's always nice if these early accesses and things are actually playable at the point of customers getting to see them.
They have to be playable and fun at the point of release, which this one is.
Yeah, build something and then add to it, yeah.
The only thing is, it can maybe do with having more stuff added to it, or maybe adding modding to it so that the community does it.
I have to say, just off the top of early access notwithstanding, it doesn't really sound like it's going to grab me particularly. I mean, I think I went and got Endless Legend in Steam sale recently, and I was tinkering with that, and that seemed quite interesting. But again, that was essentially just Civilization. I don't know where you'd go to make a new game of that sort.
I don't know.
Where do you take that genre next?
That's interesting.
Sounds like quite an accomplished recreation of things that already exist.
Yeah. What new
don't know.
Mechanics do you bring in?
No idea.
That means you're not just rehashing everyone else's.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. A new version of an old game by a new team who just takes a slightly different light on it is frequently a very good thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is still a new version of the same old idea. But I do recommend it. It is fun. It is good. If you like that kind of city building game and you are prepared for the fact that it's by no means fully fleshed out, it's playable and works. And your first couple of playthroughs, you're going to do it wrong. Your second playthrough, you'll probably max it out.
Well, how is the replayability on that? Are there different ways to build your city, or is it essentially the same problem being solved each time?
At the moment, there's not enough in there. The only thing that changes is the landscape you randomly start on.
Yeah.
And that isn't really enough. You aren't going to be playing this day in, day out for
so once
weeks.
you've had your big playthrough.
You're going to do your big playthrough. You may come back and have another big playthrough in 3 months' time when they've added more bits.
Yeah. But then even something like Civ 4 or 5 or whatever, you typically don't play hundreds of games back to back. Usually you'll give it a cut. Well, I don't know.
Some people do.
Can't speak for everyone, but I mean, I tend to just give it one massive playthrough and then that's it, back in the box, and see you again in a couple of years or whatever.
Yeah. I tend to play lots of playthroughs but never finish them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, this game's good, it's fun, and I do recommend it with the caveat that it's early access and half the game isn't in it yet.
So more like potential rather than...
Yes.
Yeah, keep it.
It's a game I think it's worth supporting.
Yeah. Well, I suppose that is the basic nature of early access, isn't it? The same way to appreciate it is to regard these things as here's what we've got so far, and come back again in 3 months or whatever and see how far we've got. The try before you buy, previews and so on.
Yeah.
We just don't rely on computer game magazines anymore to tell us about new and upcoming things. We get to see them actually firsthand. But I mean, we do still have to pay for them. So I don't know. Seemed worth it, the money you paid?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Don't know how much it is, but pay to see it first.